Miss Vicky is in the house. How's it going, everybody?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 2026. And I'm getting out some notes. And some of these are a little old. But I'm gonna talk about them anyway. When I say they're old, they're like a week old, but we'll get into some newer things here in a minute. So it was 48 degrees when I got in the car this morning, so not too bad. We did have frost yesterday, I didn't mention, I don't think. And of course, this is Merlot Fest week, and people should start arriving today. And it starts tomorrow, Thursday. I do have tickets for one day. I can choose any day. My guess will go Saturday morning, but we'll see. We'll see. I mostly go to People Watch, and the tickets were given to me free. I will do some filming, and I'll try to make it as best I can. Y'all know I'm not the best blogger in the world. I'm no Sarasota Tim, and I didn't put no earrings on this morning. Oh, no. Oh, well. Life will go on. I'm having allergy attacks. I've also been trying to, detox my lymphatic system. And what happens is at night, I wake up about 1 o'clock, it seems like, every day, every night, and I have an allergy attack. So I don't know if that's coming from the detox or just the pollen. Who knows? All right. Now, when I did this one, when I printed this one out, I didn't ever talk about it, but, of course, I mentioned go watch Ray and her LifeinVibe's channel. I try to list her latest video always in my description box, because I know one of you had asked that you couldn't find her channel, and she's turned off her tags, which I don't blame her at all. But anyway, I usually do try to tag or link her latest video below. That's not members only. Okay, now, Jerry and Linda, the Village's Newcomers, y'all know I watch them not every week, but pretty regularly. Anyway, I believe it was one day last week, Linda took a walk through her neighborhood, her village, and it's just a walk. And she's talking, it's a walk and talk. And it's a good way, if you have a treadmill, you could turn that on or watch it on your phone and walk with her. Of course, you could go wherever you walk. You could walk in place, and if you're not able, some people are now, there's a lot of videos and a lot of talk about, walking while being seated if there's something going on with your legs. I mean, it's possible. You can walk in place sitting. I know it's not the same, but if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. The main thing is to keep moving. All right. Of course, the spring rod run was last week at Pigeon Forge, and it looked like, to me, I always look at the rooms just to see what's available. There was plenty of rooms in Gatlinburg, and actually a lot of rooms in Pigeon Forge. Now, I know the hotel scene over there has really, I would say in the past year, there's been at least 5 pretty good sized hotels built. So, I don't think there was as many people there. Maybe there was as many cars. Maybe there was more locals coming in. I know they had, like 1,000 and some citations. So, which a lot of that was stupid stuff, like riding on the top. So I saw somebody riding on the top of a car, and, they say some of these young guys with these trucks come in at night and try to cause a commotion. And I think a lot of it was that. I'm sure that some of it was, driving while under the influence or whatever. So anyway, Anyway, Yankee in the South put up several videos on the road, run walking around. Adventure is out there, put up some. And also they went to a new restaurant, the Mexican Seafood Bar and Grill in Sevierville, which looked pretty interesting. They also did a video last night. As you know, Dollywood is in the Flowers Festival now. And not the Dream More, but the Heart Song Resort, Dollywood Heart Song Resort, is doing a special meal if you want to pay. And that way you can try out their restaurant. And that looked like a pretty good deal to me. Okay, of course, you know, Chris the girl has quit her job. And they're filming everywhere. Of course, I told you they went to Cumberland Gap. And they also went to Buc-ee's and show what was new at Buc-ee's. And, you know, I always appreciate that because I don't have a Buc-ee's. But one day, there will be 1 hour away from me if I live to see it. So I'll be able to go once a month if I want to. I probably won't go that much, but maybe once a quarter. All right. They also go to the Salt and Pepper Shaker Museum, which I've never been to in Gatlinburg. I don't really collect salt and shaker and never have. If I see something interesting, I might grab it, but I don't have a collection. And I talk about how now they're being introduced on camera as fiancés, whereas before they had kind of gotten out of that habit. Now, I don't know if this means they have decided to rekindle or if we're all being played. I kind of think we're all being played because they do get a lot of parody stuff made about them. Not as much as Yankee in the South, but they do get some parody made about them, especially Chris. And then they went to Franklin, North Carolina to meet up with their friends who also writes books about the Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina. He likes to share ghost stories. And his name is Mark Munch, and Robin Schultz is the illustrator. And I don't know if they're a couple or I don't know any of them. It's none of my business. But anyway, they do go into some local shops in Franklin. And if you've never been to Franklin, North Carolina, I encourage you to go. It's a nice little town right on the Georgia-North Carolina line. And I've noticed that Tampa J has started to really collect Civil War items. And he does talk about that in one of the shops. And then they go through Cherokee on the way back. And of course they see a lot of elk. And they're excited about that. Of course we know Tim did all that. But I don't think Tim's was... Let me put it this way. This was a much better video of Cherokee than anything Tim did. All right. And I don't mean that mean. I'm just speaking facts. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Tim, and then we'll talk about weird news. And I mean, Tim's kind of is a little weird. If you want to call it that, or irony, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, what I typed up was, you know, it's weird or funny, whatever you want to call it, that Sarasota Tim keeps telling us not to watch the news or read junk on the internet or watch Housewives or anything like that. But he continues to talk about those subjects, such as he talks about, he asks AI about the war. That's the last place I would ask about it. You know, like I say, I would find some... There's plenty of independent journalists out there that you can find something that's not biased. And then he talks about moving into a recession. Why does he want to bring that stuff up other than to get views? And why does he even worry about it? I'm not worried about it. If it happens, what can I do? There is not one thing I can do. Yes, I can be prepared, but I can't control what goes on in the world. And then he talks about he's going to Dick's Sporting Goods. Wonder why? Was it because it was payday, Tim? Yeah, it was payday yesterday from YouTube AdSense or Google AdSense. Another thing I want to mention about him is the Moose Lodge. Y'all, I have been begged several times over the years to join the Moose Lodge. And Dave used to be a member when he was living in Virginia, but he's not now. And you know, I mean, it may be different somewhere else, but here, it's nothing but a place to go and play bingo. You know, I don't think they have any food. They used to have food, but I don't think that, well, they may have some food now. I don't know. I know they used to have food because I know who used to run the kitchen, but I know they don't anymore because they're retired. But anyway, there may be somebody in there, and I'm sure they have a bartender. Also, the only time I know they do any kind of charity work at this one is they do help with gifts for kids at Christmas. If they do anything else, I don't know. The money for bingo that they have may go to something, but I would have to ask to make sure. Now, as far as there is a process, I mean, from what I understand, the first 30 days is only, you know, kind of a probationary period. Supposedly, they do background checks. Now, whether they do social media background checks, I don't know. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see if 2 months from now, Tim's still talking about the Moose Lodge. Just putting it out there. All right. And I'm not saying anything bad because you don't know. You don't know. I mean, I don't know when their committee meets on new members or anything like that. So anyway, and they may not even do, I mean, I know that some may not do a background check. So, and when I say background check, what does that really mean? As I said before, background checks can mean lots of things. And one of them is social media background checks now. Now, usually I think they're done for jobs, but they could be done for these, you know, places like that. I don't know. All right, we're going to talk about weird news. And these are all things you can find on the internet. And first one came from Sky News. Anyway, this is kind of funny. And then it's, you know, kind of sickening too. But anyway, this is all alleged. But according to all this, it's true. But allegedly, a woman and one pair of identical twins. Let me start again. Okay. The unnamed woman allegedly had S with both twins 4 days apart. And she became pregnant. When the baby was born, she named one as the father. But the other twin objected. So family court, along with DNA, has to distinguish which one is the father. Well, the first test couldn't distinguish who the father is. But the case is ongoing. But while the case is ongoing, no twin has no parental responsibility until the case is resolved. Okay, now, in Lake Superior, according to the Great Lakes Fishery Commission, zombie fish are swimming along with their brethren. So any of you that are in Michigan, maybe you can let us know if you know anything about this. It says, according to this, MLive.com reported on March 31st that the fish, who are the same age and length as the healthy individuals, have lower weight and fat levels and appear emaciated. Scientists with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, I guess somebody is trying to tell somebody where they're parked. So I'm sorry about the noise. Okay, scientists with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources are trying to find out the cause, looking at food limitations, disease impacts of sea lamprey, and contaminants as possible. See, and I know food can be contaminated of any kind, but maybe this is why I don't eat much fish. Okay, and here's something else that all of us race fans will be interested in. I'm going to cut these off for a second because I need to take a drink of water. Okay, I hope that horn is cut off now. All right. Over 400,000 units or 13 tons of Kit Kat bars were stolen in Europe the week of March 23rd. USA Today reported The chocolate-covered wafers were nabbed in transit on their way from Italy to Poland. And there's one special thing about these Kit Kat bars. They are in the shape of a Formula One race car. They were on their way from Italy to Poland, if I didn't say that. The thieves have not been caught, and the candy has not been yet recovered. Now, that's going to be quite easy to find that candy if you see, unless they had more somewhere else. And this is not an April Fool's joke, because this come out, right, like I say, right around there. It's that Nestle, the Swiss-based company that distributes Kit Kats, launched a Kit Kat tracker website on April 1st to help us find the stolen Kit Kat tracker. Nestle posted on X, consumers can go to their website and enter an 8-digit batch code if the number is confirmed to be from the stolen batch. So I guess if you've got one already, then I guess they're already in stores somewhere. Meanwhile, on social media, brands such as Domino's, Outback Steakhouse, and PayPal have offered condolences and a little light roasting. Bad time to roll out our Kit Kat pancakes, Denny's said. Okay, now, here's another thing I find interesting. Of course, you know, Coachella has ended, and then they go into whatever the country thing is out in California, Palm Springs, whatever it is. Okay, Madonna and Sabrina Carpenter performed together. I'm sure you've seen it if you've watched the news. It looked good. They both looked fantastic. You know, we know Madonna's had work, but I mean, she still looks good. I don't like to see her right after she's had it done, but after it calms down and everything, I think she looks fine. Okay. Well, for some reason, she brought out her vintage, whatever, costumes that she wore when she first released some of these songs that they performed. And they ended up getting stolen. And so someone has her costumes. And this is what she said: these aren't just clothes, they are part of my history. And they said other archival items from the era went missing as well. So, if you see those out here somewhere for sale, then you know they're stolen. I don't think we'll see it. They'll show up years from now and somebody will buy them. I guess that's all I got to say today. It's probably been long enough. But thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And Thursday, if I'm not back for whatever reason, you never know. So I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.